So you're wondering if you should be adding apple cider vinegar to your rabbit's water bucket? That's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. Hey guys, welcome back to another Slightly Redneck video. Again, my name is Chris. If you're not familiar with this channel, I help you to produce your own meat, eggs, and vegetables from your backyard, your balcony, your deck, your garage, or heck, even a spare room in your house if that's the way you want to do it. Today I'm tackling the topic of apple cider vinegar in your rabbit's water. Let me start off by saying what we're talking about here is apple cider vinegar with the mother, not apple cider flavored vinegar. And you should be able to tell it looks kind of cloudy. You won't be able to see that on screen probably or on camera, but it looks a little cloudy. That means it's got the mother in it. And why is that important? Because the mother, this is a fermented vinegar, so the mother is what contains all the nutrients, the vitamins, lactobacillus bacteria, same kind of stuff that's in yogurt and sauerkraut and fermented foods and all that kind of stuff. Now, as far as actual studies done on the effects of apple cider vinegar, there's been very few, if any, scientific studies actually done on it. There was one famous study done on chickens that talked about, and I can't remember all the specifics of it, but it wasn't adding apple cider vinegar, it was adding an acid, which is the same acid that's found in apple cider vinegar, to the chickens. It did find that they did have a slightly reduced rate of salmonella in their crop, which was a big thing for the meat industry, but that study's a little bit skewed. It doesn't really apply to us as backyard growers, even if you were raising chickens, because part of that study, they took the chickens off feed for a period of time to force a molt. So it's not real clear whether it was the acid or the feed or a combination of the two that really affected that, what it would be like long term if you just kept them on regular feed, all those kinds of things. Again, I find it very difficult to believe personally that lowering the pH is going to do much at all for any of those kinds of things, but there may be some effect on it. Who knows? There was also a study done that showed that apple cider vinegar reduced the rate of heart disease in rats. But again, is heart disease a real issue with rabbits? I've never had a rabbit that died from heart disease that I know of anyway. It's not a big problem for me, and I don't know that there's really any other real benefits that come from it. Now, there are some anecdotal things. People will say adding a little bit of apple cider vinegar, about a tablespoon per gallon of water, they claim it can help with all kinds of things, but they also claim that it can help reduce the urine smell in rabbits. I personally have added apple cider vinegar to my rabbits' water before, and I noticed very little, if any, difference. It was all pretty much the same. There are claims that it will reduce the algae in your lines, the buildup in your water lines. Again, when I had apple cider vinegar in the water, very little, if any, difference whatsoever in that, in my opinion. So I don't believe that it actually works for those things that much either. There are some claims that it can reduce the calcium buildup in your rabbit's urine. There may be some truth in that. A lower pH, more acidic, will break down calcium a little bit faster. But there's also some evidence, especially in birds like chickens and things like that, that it may cause them to intake more calcium because of that. So who knows for sure. Here's my point to that. I don't personally use apple cider vinegar in my rabbits' water. I have no health problems whatsoever with any of my rabbits, never really have. And the reason I don't use it is because there's very little, if any, evidence whatsoever that there's any benefit to it. Now, there is some evidence, some studies that have been done that show that there may be some negative effects to it as well, but again, not very much. So if you want to add apple cider vinegar to your rabbit's water, go right ahead. There are some beneficial vitamins, there are some beneficial bacteria in apple cider vinegar. Again, the same things you would find in like yogurt or sauerkraut or other fermented foods. So it's probably not going to hurt them to add apple cider vinegar to that, but then again, we just don't know for sure. I mean, there was a time whenever commercials on TV had doctors recommending cigarettes to people and saying the health benefits of cigarettes. There have actually been studies on cigarettes saying that they reduce the plaque buildup in your brain that causes Alzheimer's. But that doesn't mean that cigarettes are good for you. So even if there are a few benefits to apple cider vinegar, again, doesn't necessarily mean that it's overall good for your rabbits. Another thing reason I don't use it is because by lowering the pH of your water, and a couple of tablespoons per gallon of water will lower the pH quite a bit, down to about a 2.0, I believe. You might have to double check me on that one, but that is acidic enough that it can corrode stainless steel and metal, and you know, my water fittings are all metal and stainless steel, so adding apple cider vinegar and lowering the pH can actually cause the fittings, the water valves themselves, to wear out just a little bit quicker. So that's one of the reasons why I don't add it. Here's clearly the clear answer. There may be some health benefits to your rabbit, but it is not magical. It will not fix every problem with your rabbit, or every problem with your quail for that matter, or every problem with you for that matter. It's not necessarily a bad thing to add, but don't expect magic results from it. If you want to do it, go ahead and do it. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to spend the extra money on it because that stuff's pretty pricey, then don't do it and don't feel guilty for not doing it. That's my opinion on it. But don't believe all the hype out there that everybody tells you, because really what they're doing is they're just regurgitating something else that somebody else has told them that they read on probably you know, the apple cider vinegar website, where they're trying to sell you apple cider vinegar. So, you know, they're not backed up by medical or scientific claims. So don't really buy into all that hype. So that's my opinion on the topic. Let me know in the comments below what your opinion is and what you think. And if you have found a scientific study on it that really reports on how great it is, let me know, please. I would love to share that with the rest of my viewers, and I'd love to be educated the same way. So thank you so much for watching this video. As always, God bless.